Hello and welcome to the Software AG Partner Webinar. Today's webinar is with Qualitrol Tech, and our topic today is Best Practices in Electronic Invoicing. My name is Aaron Johnson. I'm hosting today's event, and our presenters are Steve Tronick with Qualitrol Tech and Keith Wang, also with Qualitrol Tech. Steve Tronick is a sales enablement and business growth executive with Qualitrol Tech. For more than 20 years, Steve has been helping his clients improve their business applications by choosing solutions that improve business process, deliver business intelligence, and integrate systems and data. These solutions are built upon middleware such as web methods from Software AG. Keith Wang is a solutions architect with Qualitrol Tech. Keith has worked extensively with installed client middleware solutions such as web methods. His client portfolio includes a retail giant where Keith has contributed to the B2B finance, warehouse, and business systems. So that's it for me. Steve, please take it away.
Aaron, thank you for the introduction, and thank you to those who have joined us today to review some of the current trends and best practices for electronic invoicing. Today, we're going to take a look at a new way to use e-invoicing to reduce costs, to improve your company cash flow, and most importantly, gain and maintain a competitive advantage in your B2B segment. Our presentation will cover what we have learned from our clients and how we have adapted the e-invoice solution to deliver on those results I just mentioned. In addition to discussing our findings, we'll look at a case study with one of our large clients, and then, as Aaron has mentioned, we'll demonstrate the ease of using this application. Before we get started, however, we'd like to ask a few polling questions to make sure that we tailor the presentation to your needs. Aaron, could you please take it?
Sure, Steve. So right off the bat, everyone, we have our first poll question for you. And this one asks, which of the following invoice options are you using today? All right, the votes are in. So EDI with Invoice and a purchase invoice program or service are tied with the only third place vote going to homegrown eVoice network. Steve, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting in that we haven't seen the emailed invoice or emailed PDFs come up. That seems to be a response that a lot of customers have given to us in the past as well. But it certainly doesn't surprise us that it's across the board with different programs that customers may currently have as well as EDI.
Okay, and we actually have another poll, and this one asks you, where are you on your e-invoicing journey? All right, clear winner here. We are looking to improve our current e-invoice system, and then a distant second place tie between we are exploring options to integrate in the next 24 months, and no plans now. We are just exploring the trends and directions. And Steve, what do you think of this one?
Well, it basically shows our audience has already implemented something of e-invoicing in their business, and people are always looking for improvement. In fact, that's exactly what this application has been put together to do, is to improve upon current systems and integrate well with the B2B business environment. So thanks for that input. That's going to help us as we go through this presentation. We had discussions with several of our clients in a number of different industries and found 4 needs that were trending. First was the need to improve customer onboarding, especially with those clients that have significant B2B operations. Basically, customers expect fast and efficient onboarding and some level of customized buying experience. You know, we know that from ourselves personally when we're on shopping on the web, that if we aren't getting the satisfaction from one potential seller, we go to the next. So that again is something that our customers were saying that their own B2B clients were looking for. And this includes customization of invoices. Now, why is that so? Many of your customers may require multiple account profiles for invoicing by department, division, or by country budget number, for example. This helps them with their accounting and their auditing, and also when government compliance and taxation requirements are involved. And finally, one company might have a different invoice layout and want that they want than perhaps you would. The second was the IT staff burden for invoices is growing. This is mainly because of the customization requests, and this could be simple requests, they could be complex requests. This, in fact, was happening with the clients that we are profiling today. Their system caused delays in onboarding new customers and produced an ongoing burden to IT. That clients and others insisted that there be no coding or programming in any new solution, and that customized onboarding be available in less than 1 day. The next trend was that clients expressed a concern with the impact of invoice disputes on their business. Whatever the reason for that dispute, for example, it could have been an incorrect invoice cost center that was entered, or the buyer just says, I haven't received the invoice. If there's a dispute, it obviously leads to extending the days of sale until payment is received. This impacts your cash flow and consumes a significant amount of time from accounting, customer service, and sales staff to handle disputes and resolve issues. The clients we talked to told us that they wanted to greatly decrease phone tag, email, and escalation while providing better customer service and increased customer satisfaction. The fourth trend was the need for easy search, review, and audit of invoices. Our clients wanted to improve this function for their own company first, but also for their customers and the customers' independent auditors. To search and review specific invoices, multiple methods for pulling data for reports, and this would all be beneficial for reducing manual intervention and be useful for financial reviews, government compliance checks, and the potential to support sales system. So given these trends and requirements, where could the clients look for answers? There were 4 traditional solutions they could consider. The first was EDI, and a few of you noted that EDI was your system of choice right now. The problem with EDI is that it's great for use if you're Walmart and you want to order 10,000 TVs from China. But for small companies, it's both expensive and cumbersome. And remember that EDI is required by both you and your clients. So that really ends up being not an option for about 85% of the typical B2B customers. The next choice would be, let's invent our own. Develop a homegrown system, as some clients have done in the past. The problem with that option is that it requires quite a bit of development effort on the front end and has proprietary code. It can further burden your IT staff for support and updates down the road, and can limit future integration with other programs. Worst of all, it might not be user-friendly for onboarding new clients. The third option was getting one of the standardized e-invoice solutions that are available today instead. Now, the potential issues with packages that are currently out there is that they can be a nightmare to integrate into your B2B environment, often are limited in the number of invoice templates available and the ability to customize, can lack the scalability and flexibility that you need, and can be costly to implement and maintain. And remember, there's still proprietary code sitting behind those products. The final option was trying one of the SaaS e-invoice programs that are now just coming to market. SaaS solutions sound great on the surface, but these cloud-based shared systems are really fit for smaller B2B operations. The positive is that you can start to use them at a very inexpensive entry point, but they are quite limited in terms of flexibility in their templates, can't support a large amount of transactions, and offer only limited support, if any at all. This option doesn't fit well for either growing companies or larger B2B operations. So you can see that from that path, this discussion, that the number of customers and transactions can limit what options you can take. With that in mind, we'd like to take another polling question based on transaction volumes. Aaron, please go.
That's right, everyone. Time for our next poll. The question here is, on the average, how many invoices do you process each month? All right. and Steve, a tie, 43% for 8,000 to 15,000 and for 25,000 and more was the verdict, and we had a third place of 4,000 to 8,000 invoices each month. And what do these results tell you?
Well, it's right on hand with what we see in the marketplace, with obviously the gap at the 15 to 25,000 range there from the poll. But the beauty of this is our application is really meant to satisfy any size. So being over 25,000 customers is certainly not an issue. In fact, Keith will show you in the demonstration what the client of ours is currently processing. So that's pretty much right in hand with what we've seen in the market as well. So thanks again for your feedback on that poll question and the previous two. Looking at the trends we uncovered and the problems that exist in other e-invoice options, Qualitrol Tech began to develop a solution built on these 5 principles. The first was that it would be developed using open office standards instead of proprietary programming. This would enable easy integration with other programs and easy upgrade as new functions become available in the future. It would support an unlimited number of customers and transactions. And again, Keith will give you a little bit of a look into that with our current customer. This basically protects your B2B growth. It would be template-driven and not require any special coding expertise. It would be designed with an eye on improving customer onboarding and would easily integrate with any existing B2B platform that you might have now or into the future. What else was included in this package to add value? Well, we've listed some of them here, and while each of these and others that we haven't listed are important, the key highlights for most clients we talked with were the choice of PDF, Excel, and text output, the ability to have invoice tracking and search capability. Again, this was important to reduce invoice disputes for you as the seller, but it was also critical for auditing, regulatory compliance checks, tax jurisdiction payments, and so on for clients. Finally, they needed to be plug ready for either web methods or your other Java-based environments. What really sets this solution apart from the others is that we have designed it to be buyer-centric instead of supplier-centric. Yes, obviously it's good for you as the supplier, but we're really focused on bringing a new customer satisfaction to the buyer. That is what you can give. It can give you the competitive advantage that you desire. It's designed to make it easy for you to get customers onboarded quickly and for them to start conducting business with you. And you might ask yourself, if you don't do this, might one of your competitors do it? It offers customized invoices that meet customer needs, as I've already said, for division, department, budget centers, and so on. And it gives that audit support to your customers that we discussed. So let's take a look at the solution and how we got initiated and how it has paid off for one of our clients. The client we're going to talk about today is a leader in both its retail and B2B business category. They have national retail operations, which are very well known, but behind the scenes, their B2B operations generate actually a good share of the revenue. That revenue is built by mid-market and larger customers. Their B2B environment is growing rapidly, and competitors are taking notice of this and beginning to make inroads. The problem is they saw their existing EI solution as not sustaining the growth nor maintaining that customer advantage that they had in the market. That's because it was based on .NET platform, required virtual basic programming skills, which they didn't have a lot of in-house and which weren't available in the market. Qualitrol Tech has been a long-time partner of this company, so they turned to us. We have helped them with web-enabled applications and integration projects in the past. And those projects have been both for web methods and Java open source applications. The issues that this client had were, as I mentioned, their legacy system was requiring too much in IT resources because it was written in proprietary code. It really couldn't scale up to more customers or the higher transaction volumes that they were beginning to see. And they became worried that the system would not support any more growth and that they would lose the competitive edge in competitive advantage that they enjoyed for years. As our initial customer for this product, much of the design we were looking at was tweaked thinking of their B2B business operations. Qualitrol Tech reviewed the existing system and listened to the client's issues and needs. And we reviewed that with IT staff, with accounting staff, with sales staff, with many different groups within the company. The final design was then based on open source Java design, included options for Excel, PDF, and text-based invoices, and supported easy customization and unlimited scalability. We developed the application and then followed that up with 2 proof of concept phases. One first for Excel spreadsheets, followed by PDF output. The Qualitrol Tech team then seamlessly integrated the solution to the client's existing B2B platform for simplicity and automation. What were the results? What did they get out of this application change? First of all, onboarding the new client was cut from the typical 5 days it was taking to next day availability. And in fact, could be done in a few hours if it was a very simple invoice template that was going to be used. This was significant because of the growing competition. And they had customized templates in the past. So they needed to have that still in the system to maintain their competitive advantage. And finally, the Excel formatting enabled non-IT staff to actually take over the function of doing that customization. Or it could even be outsourced to Qualitrol Tech Service Group, which they actually are doing at this point. Additionally, new features provided them for easy invoice research and customer audit. That greatly reduced the invoice disputes and provided better support for their customers. This led to improved staff efficiency in IT, accounting, sales, and customer service, improved customer satisfaction because of their quick turnaround, and keeping the position as the market leader because of the flexibility and superior service that they could continue to offer to their customers. Now we're going to go into a product demonstration. We want to show you how easy the product is to use. So Keith, please take it away. Well, thank you, Keith, for the presentation. I think the last slide that Keith showed was very enlightening, really showing the power or the ability to scale up with this product. 10,000 customers, 20,000 bill tos, 50,000 invoices per month. That's pretty large by anybody's standard. So we can scale from very low to very high in terms of both customers and invoices. Some of the other advantages to the Qualitrol Tech E-Invoicing solution were that, again, you saw in the presentation or the demonstration that no coding or development is needed ever. That it will provide for much faster onboarding, and as this client saw, was up to 80% reduction. It does have a low cost of initial ownership. We'll be glad to discuss that with you. And that initial ownership cost goes down into Agile implementation as well. A solution that's both reliable and scalable. You saw the scalability. It has refined track, search, and view capability, and is easy to deploy into any existing B2B environment. Let's take a look at a few of those. In addition to deployment on WebMethods platform, Qualitrol Tech solution can be integrated onto any of these other platforms. So again, it is 100% Java and very accessible to other programs you may have, and can marry up and integrate well into your system. Let's now turn to the questions, some that you may have posted, and we'll see what we can answer today. Aaron, can I turn it back to you on the questions?
You can. So everyone, we're now in the Q&A part of today's webinar. There is an opportunity for you to write in with the additional features you might like to see. So if there are some, go ahead and type those in on that poll there. There is another poll asking how you might like to be contacted after this event. Unlike the previous polls, you can cast your vote for as many or as few of those as you like. Now, without further ado, let's get right to your questions. And Keith, this first one goes to you. It asks, what software do you use for this diagram?
Yes, thanks for your question. And this solution is built, as Steve already said, purely on Java, and there are a fair number of open frameworks we use, so it's fairly standard Java and open source.
All right, and we have two more here lined up for you, Keith. So this next one asks this. We already have an accounting package that produces invoices. What would this do for us?
Again, a great question, and I think this solution can be deployed in many ways, and so it really can scale up to a full-fledged application, or really complement for you build modules that to cover the gaps that your system having. Now, the other aspect is the accounting package solution typically is harder to implement any changes. So this solution will allow you to implement changes a lot faster. So I think you can always look to use the solution as a more full solution or as part of your process improvement process. That is, if you need to see opportunity to improve your electronic invoice process, then most likely you can find a place for the solution. This works well in any of the scenarios. So it can be core or complementary.
Okay, very good. And moving right along to our next one, Keith, can you populate data from my sales system into this program?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, that is good news. So, Steve, you're up next on the Q&A. This question asks, how can I arrange for an in-house demo or a trial?
Well, thanks for that question. First of all, we can arrange another web event for your company personally, where we can start with that. If we need to come on site and have a deeper discussion, we're certainly open to that too. You'll have our contact information on another slide. You can contact either myself for that, or if you have some technical questions, contact Keith directly as well.
All right. Next question for you, Steve, as well. If I have EDI, why would I want to consider this program?
Well, I think this is pretty much to a question that Keith just answered as well. EDI certainly has its benefits. It's great for international trade. It's great for communications between large organizations for large data, and has some money transfer, et cetera, built into it. But I think the question you have to ask, are you missing customers who can't come and buy from you because they cannot support EDI in their house, either from the expense standpoint or from the support standpoint? So I think there's always room from a complementary standpoint. Yes, continue to use EDI where that makes sense. This is going to make sense for many more other customers.
Keith, moving on to you again, how difficult is this to integrate?
It is very easy to integrate. I mean, that's in addition to the benefit of easy to use for users. Underneath, the technology is standard-based and can run on pretty much any platform, Windows, Linux, and can work with any data format. And we have a great framework to work with different protocols. And so if you have FTP, flat file, HTTP, etc., XML, so yeah, it's very easy to work with in that aspect.
All right, and this appears to be our final question of our webinar. Keith, does the program come with templates, or do we have to build them?
Great question. I think in general, we foresee to work with the potential, work with the customer to see what their need is. And then I think their standard, if doesn't exist, 100% fit what they need, we will have a list of pre-built examples and get the customer started.
All right, well, that concludes our Q&A session. Steve and Keith, thank you both for sharing your expertise with us today. To everyone who's watching, thank you for making time from your day to be with us. That's it. This concludes our Software AG Partner Webinar with Qualitrol Tech. Have a great day, everyone. And with that, we are done.